Right. E aí, galera, Lara aqui com o bot laner do Team Vitality, Neon. Vou perguntar para ele como é que tem sido ter dois jogadores, né, um da Coreia e um da China no time dele. E também quero saber como é que tem sido esses ups and downs do Team Vitality. So, Neon, maybe you can tell me a little bit about the ups and downs of the team, because you guys kicked things off running, and then it felt like you guys kind of went over a slump, and now you're picking yourself back up. Even though today's game against BDS was an interesting one, so maybe you can give me some insight.
Yeah, so can I hold it? It's more natural. So we are a very good team individually, like players-wise, but we're currently struggling with our macro game, as we could see this week against pretty much both teams. I think we are not on point with our macro. And what we were on point with was our team fighting, and that's like how we won the game eventually. So, like heading forwards to the group stage. I think it's the group stage.
Yes.
Yeah, the stage 2. We're gonna have to work really hard to fix these macro mistakes and get better.
Do you want to point the microphone at me like you're interviewing me? This is so awkward.
Yeah,
no, give it to me. We can just do that. That way, that's perfect. Okay, sure. Heading into the best of threes, what are you thinking of the meta? Because it's going to affect a lot of the bot lane specifically, and I'm wondering how that's going to be for you and Kaiser.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the next patch actually, because playing on this patch for our team is not very good. Because we have Kaiser, who is really good on engage supports. We have Bo, who's really good on carry junglers. So the current meta doesn't suit us at all. Like, that's part of why we're also not doing that well, because we a lot of times have to pick champions because of the meta that we're not really the best at. So I think next patch is going to make us make it more easy for us to pick the champions that we actually want to play, that we're actually good at. So from what I've been playing on solo queue, I think the improvements are quite good. AD carry feels a bit nicer to play. There's no Yumi.
Right.
Maybe Maokai nerf, right? Like, yeah, this is really good for us, I think.
And you know, you brought up that it's not exactly the meta that you guys want to play in, and I have heard this from pretty much every single player or person in every single team. And right now, the LEC is kind of a wild west. There are teams that, you know, in the past were not performing so good that now are performing super great, and teams that, you know, were household names that are not really being able to carry themselves over. And I feel like in some of these cases, maybe it is the meta that doesn't suit them, but do you actually think that this is what's causing like this oscillation in the LEC standings right now, and each team beats every other team?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's still a best of one stage, right? Like in best of one, a lot of things can go right or wrong. Second of all, this is a meta that we have not had for a long time. So I think this meta caught a lot of teams, maybe caught them off guard, and was probably even beneficial for some of the lower teams, because basically every team had to adapt to something new, right? And that's why the teams that maybe people didn't expect to do so well are actually doing so well now, is because like they aren't bad players, right? But what we're used to seeing is like the best teams playing like the meta that they were best at, but this is just new, right? So nobody knows if the best teams are actually best in this meta, right? So yeah, for now it's like a little bit of a clusterfest. We'll see how it evolves in the best of threes. I think in best of threes,
I was about to ask, like, how do you actually think that these teams are gonna, they're gonna carry themselves over?
Yeah, that's the question that I also ask myself, right? Like there's SK, probably BDS, like these teams that they're gonna have to play a best of 3. Maybe in a new patch, maybe where meta has changed, hopefully. Yeah, actually there's only one patch left. Yeah, I mean, I would not underestimate them, because they've all shown that they're capable of playing a very good and strong game so far, but definitely I'm like questioning whether they're able to translate that into best of threes.
That's very interesting. And just lastly, I am interested in how the communication in your team is working, because you have Bo and Photon in the team. Is that something that was a little bit of a struggle to get everyone adapted to work with because of the language barrier maybe? Or is this something that was more simple to work with? I know that Coach Carter is a big fan of bringing import players, so I'm wondering what you think.
Yeah, well, the only struggle with imports is A, are they gonna not get like homesick in EU, which is something that happens a lot often, and B, how good is their English, and how comfortable are they like in an English team, how well do they communicate, etc., right? So I think these are the main two factors that play a big role in making an import successful. And I think so far, like, this is like us inside of Vitality, we didn't expect us to do so well at the start because we know that this is going to be a long year, and starting the year, we're still learning English. We're still getting accustomed to EU. We have 2 players from overseas, 2 non-English speakers, but I'm really happy with the progress so far because they actually have picked up some decent English and we seem to be heading the right path.
And just really quick, because you mentioned that sometimes players that come from overseas get homesick. I know that with Harriet, it's known that there was a situation like that where he missed home a little bit. And I'm wondering what you can do for a teammate when that happens. Is there anything that teammates can do to make sure that everyone feels welcome and included? And is this happening at Vitality?
Well, as a teammate, there's only so much you can do, right? Like, in the end, it depends on the person and how much they miss their home country, how much they hate it here in EU. But there's definitely something that you can do well as a player. You can make them feel welcome. You can make the environment feel easygoing. You can try and talk to them in person, right? See how they're feeling. But, I mean, sometimes not even that helps, right? Because it is difficult, like, coming from a very different culture, very different lifestyle here in EU. I think, yeah, it's not for everyone, I think, from Asia.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for the insight, and I will see you guys in the best of threes.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.